Yeah, that's good. So
Yeah.
there is settled. Okay.
Yeah.
I listen in, okay?
Okay. Okay. Okay, it's a pleasure to see you all. It's me, Helena. Today I'm gonna present you about our experience while we're making some digital courses for learning purpose. And thank you, Gabi, for expression. As you know that this Noor ET Aptitude project is an academic program project, which is mainly aimed for evidence-based practice in education and also for innovation of health science education, particularly in Ethiopia. And the program runs between academic cooperation between Norway and Ethiopia. So as the part of this project, we are producing those online course material as a section of education innovation. So I'm gonna present you today, and thanks for having you. I think it's not going. Okay, as you know that online course materials are very necessary, even though accessing those online materials is kind of difficult because of slow internet connection and also some shortage of infrastructure, but preparing those online course materials and disseminating this for teaching and learning is very necessary for innovating the education system. In the preparation of this open educational resource have many advantages because we can use those open educational resources as with expanded access for learners and for other users. And we can also prepare those online materials with a good interaction. We can make it a good interactive way. We can prepare it as a term of fun, even we can prepare it as a puzzle. And also these open educational resources can be modified rapidly with a minimum cost. So it's also another advantage. Through these open educational resources, we can approach our students with a different approach, like we can prepare it in terms of texts, we can also record a video, we can collect still images, and we can also include interactive learning materials. Dissemination is also very done rapidly comparing to the traditional classwork or textbook terms. So comparing to the old or the classic method, those open educational resources become nowadays very advantageous, and it's also redefining the education system. And there are beautiful materials for challenging the traditional work and for innovating the education system. Open educational resource initiatives are mostly and largely developed in developed countries like in Europe, in the US, and also some in Asian countries. But coming to in Africa, it's at infant stage. South Africa, I think, developed these educational resources as South African education for a distant program, and it's also as a leading for African continents. But coming to my country, Ethiopia, those online materials are in very beginning stage. Like almost all Ethiopian higher educations are unable to change the online platform. And for example, during the COVID-19 situation, almost all Ethiopian higher educations were completely halted and blocked, and we were also completely apart from our students for temporarily. So in order to overcome this ongoing problem and also in order to challenge the traditional classwork, nowadays we are trying to prepare those educational materials in order to avail those materials as a teaching and learning purpose. So in order to increase this open educational resources for the education system, we have to create the awareness for all stakeholders in the academic community, maybe for students and also for content developers, and also for the management, because this engagement is the point to establish the initiative. And also preparing some digital platform training is also mandatory, and the settling and organizing of infrastructure and digital equipment is also necessary. So we divide our project implementation into phases. The first phase cascade from November 2020 to 2021. It was a very successful moment because we trained about the course digitalization. Initially, around 90 and 20 participants was enrolled for participating on a course digitalization workshop, but around 8 and 10 are successfully trained and finally graduate. So through these workshops, through this subsequent training about course digitalization, we acquire many knowledge about the importance of course digitalization and about the skill, and we got a good input for knowing how to do that. And we also establish green screen studios because those are important for preparing and recording videos. Those are my colleagues, and this is our green screen studio. Those are the green screens, and those are some equipment for recording. And initially, most of the team members are or have no clue about course digitalization and also about how to record academic videos. I know nothing initially, but after I get a training and after we establish this green screen studio, we can prepare some academic videos. And we also know how to prepare a PowerPoint for recording video. This is me. This is a picture of my first professional video while I was preparing like about the primary survey during the trauma management. So we become here from nothing. The second project phase runs from July, and it also goes to the end of September while also working on it. And at this stage, we redefine a rapid prototyping publishing process. It's a new way for preparing course materials. After we prepare those course materials, we openly access the materials for students for academic purpose, and it will be used for learning and teacher method. And since I said that's any way for publishing, we use a Textradar technology for our work visualization and also for tracking our work progress. And we use also mind map for looking the course structure and the course distribution. We also engaged about the cloudary management in order to manage our assets, like in order to manage our videos, our audios, and also image elements. This cloudary management service also very helpful for producing digital course materials. My partner will say something about cloudary management later, so I should stop here. So through our second phase, I told you that we are preparing digital course materials, and we start to work on trauma, post-hospital care as a book title or a MOOC topic. So this trauma post-hospital care will be used for the paramedic program. So we start to produce the courses on open edX setting. We prepare this WF content for see the course structure. So for the post-hospital trauma care, those courses are well included. The first one is Introduction to Post-Hospital Trauma Care, and within the introduction part, we include trauma kinematics, about the medical, legal, and ethical issues about post-hospital trauma management, and also see about the trauma epidemiology. And through the trauma overview, the rapid transport, trauma scoring, mass causality and accident prevention, and mechanism of injury are well covered. And through the trauma patient evaluation, we covered about primary and secondary survey, and bleeding management is also addressed through the bleeding and soft tissue injury section. And through the systemic trauma management, it was a wide portion because we include about the head injury, face, neck, spinal cord injury, abdominal trauma, and about chest trauma, orthopedic injury, and burn, and also environmental emergency survey included. So this is the table of content. We are working very well, and through compiling this course materials, we use different text types, and we call them materials. The first one is web page. Those are the running texts. That means they are simply written texts. We wrote those texts on the HTML editor as a text editor, and they can put them as a simple text like this. The other one is audio visuals. Those are best practice for preparing online materials, because as you know that most people remember what they see rather than what they read or what they hear. So we prepare a still image, we collect them, and also we record a video and green screen studios, and also record an audio through different M3 recording devices. And the most important part is we use interactive learning objects. Those are very important material for preparing those courses, because those are the best way for making the course interactive with the students. Through preparing those objects, we can kind of communicate with our students, and it's the best way to approach them, because those objectives on H5P framework gives you a response for every user's input. Those are the example for interactive learning objectives. It's a multiple choice type. So after the student try those questions, the student can check him or herself whether they get it or not, and also the level of knowledge. The other materials paratext, those are not a part of our actual work. We bring them from the external resource, but this external resource should be relevant to the actual content. And we use it as a term of link, as an additional reference, animation and videos are possible. For example, on my section for chest trauma, I use a needle decompression procedure video as a paratext because I was unable to record this decompression video in demonstration room. So paratext is also very important for preparing those course materials. As told you before, as redefining rapid prototyping publishing, we use the TextRadar technology. This is all about the TextRadar. Those TextRadar are a visualization tool which help us for visualize our work and also for track our progress. In order to prepare TextRadar, we have to prepare a spreadsheet. This is an example for the spreadsheet. As you see, there are different columns in rows. Each row have different names that typically represents the specific title. And this the column for the name, and this one is the column for the quadrant. In this case, we use 4 text types. You can write the page, the audiovisual, the interactive learning objective, or the paratext. It indicates the type of the text that we are going to use. And this one is drawing. It clearly indicates that where the work is. That means if the work is in initial phase, or if we're not starting anything to work, we put an idea specifically for this topic. And if the work is already started, we put another construction. If the work comes to draft stage, we put draft. And if finally, if the work is well done into the publication, we put an accepted. And this one is a column for description. It briefly describes that what's going to be done specifically for the title. So after we prepare this TextRadar, we build this spreadsheet, we build this TextRadar. As you see, there are 4 quadrants because we use 4 text types in this case. And as you see, there are colorful blips. Those colorful blips indicates the text types, and the color tells that which text type is being included here. For example, the green one indicates the page, the blue one indicates the audiovisual, the orange one indicates the interactive learning object, and the red one indicates the paratext. So rather than the text type, the place of the blips also tell us the place of the work. That means where is the work? Is reached to the draft stage, whether it's reached to the under construction or the idea. As you see here, through the work progress, it comes to the center. That means from under construction to draft and to the accepted stage. When the work is being started, we set to under construction, and when the work is come to the draft, it plays to a little bit inside to the center. And if the work reaches to the publishing phase, all the blips come to the center, and we can clearly see the work progress. If you want to see the specific title and closely and very specifically, we can click the quadrant. For example, if we see as an example, question 14.3, like simple emo tracks, you see that the text type is audiovisual because the color is blue. And you can also know that the work is in the idea stage because we found the blip in the outer part of the circle. And you can also know that the mechanism of injury, signs and symptoms, and hospital management of simple emo tracks will be discussed. So in order to visualize our work and in order to track our progress, using this TextRadar was very helpful for our course preparation process. The other one is mind map. Mind map is also very important because we can easily see our course distribution. Post-hospital trauma care is our course, so those are the collapsed form, and there are different sections for post-hospital trauma care. This one is the expanded one. For every section have own subsection, and there are also different units. So in order to see the course distribution and the course structure in terms of section, subsection, and unit, using such kind of map is also very important for producing qualified content materials. As you know that you can find whatever you need in an online form because we have a browser nowadays, but the point is transforming those website contents to knowledge and understanding base is the point. So we are making course material which are very necessary for students for help them to acquire knowledge and also to help them for understand what they need to know, and it will be used as a guidance for them, like to pass the exam and also in order to be competent. For example, if you are Googling tension pneumothorax as an example, many results will be pop out, but we can't use those terms for academic purpose. So we prepare these tension pneumothorax in terms of texts and in terms of image. This image will explain about tension pneumothorax. We also prepare interactive learning objectives like this, so the student can check themselves whether they got it or not. Another interactive learning objectives, which is an image which can help them to know about the tension pneumothorax interactively, and we also record a video. So we approach the students with many ways, and will be a good guidance to them for acquiring a knowledge and also help them to be competent and also maybe for passing the exam. Those the point for preparing online materials. Through our journey for preparing those course materials, we have many opportunity and also challenges that's expected. As an opportunity, as told you before, especially the subject specialists have no clue about course digitalization and on how to use technologies and also how to write on HTML and also on how to prepare interactive learn objectives on H5P framework. But after we engaged to this training and after we practical exercise for producing, we got a good awareness about it and also we acquired some knowledge and we become kind of skillful for preparing those materials. So this is the first opportunity. And the other one, we also make the editorial committee. That's a very interesting part. We work as a team. In the committee, it's a team up from 2 information technology team specialists with medical background, and 5 of us are come from the emergency department. So combination from those who know the subject matter and those who know how to manage digitalized courses is very perfect to be helping each other. And so this is the opportunity. While we're discussing the challenge, it's obvious we are following a new way. So some kind of challenges and resistance are expected and the implementer should be ready for that. The first one is poor technological skills. As you know that, we know nothing about it. So this drawback is our challenge, and we overcome this through training and also through working together and also by repeated exercise. The other challenge is resistance to begin. As you know, most people resist the new way, even if the new way is better than the older or better or superior than the previous one. So resistance is also expected. Initially, most of us are not have that much trust whether the program or this project will be achieved. And some of us also have a question whether we can't do this, a kind of a question about I'm not capable of this. And the other one, and the most common one, is about the extra job burden. All of us have a regular job. Some of us are teachers and some of us are working in the hospital. Some of us are working about another private workers. So everybody complains about how they busy are, and it's still going till today. But in order to overcome this resistance and the work burden issue, incentives like making a payment for as a per diem was a single solution because everybody loves money. So they tried to give some time for working on it. And the other one is working closely each other and also working with the technology teams are very helpful to overcome this challenge. The other one is supervision. While we're working such kind of project, having a supervisor who's an expert on it was mandatory. So Professor Helge was our advisor and he was closely monitoring us, and we bring a question for him. So we working on it very closely. The other one is effective leading role. I was the lead editor and an author for the contents. I tried my best to be a model for them. I tried my best to work before them and as ahead because I want to show them that it's achievable and it's a possible way. So we were working in this way. And as a leader, I try my best to announce time-based plans, and I repeatedly make monitoring by using my TextRadar. The other one is the bureaucratic problem. It's always bureaucracy and the administrational problems will be an issue, and we overcome this challenge through open discussion and a brief explanation to the administrative staff. Before I end up my presentation, I want to say something about interactive learning objectives because those are very important to make the course interactive to our students. And those interactive learning objects are prepared in the H5P framework, a short version for HTML5 package. There are many options, but we practically work on course presentation, accordion, image hotspots, multiple choice. So we shortly look them. The first one is accordion. We use this framework for bulky or junk files because we can collapse and expand the files, and it allows interaction for the students. This is the framework. As you see, you can write the title over here. For example, in this example, this is written under the title of Ethical and Legal Principles for Trauma-Post Target, which WHO recommended one. So the title will be Ethical and Legal Principles. And those are the panels. That means the paragraphs that will be then expanded on collapsed. So the title over here become Professionalism in this case, in those paragraphs will be written under this text. So you can add additional panels as much as I need. In my case, I add another 4 additional panels. So the student can read through expanding and collapsing this term. This is an interactive part. The other framework for preparing interactive learning objects is image hotspots. It's good for explaining image rather than putting the image simply, but putting it interactively will be better because the student can have chance for accessing interactively. So this is the title as usual, and this is the place for adding the image. You can bring the image from your download file. And those are the hotspot I can place in order to explain your image furtherly and specifically. For example, I use this tension emotracks just as a picture. So I'm going to explain about collapsed length, about mediastinal shift consequences, and also about normal functioning length. So I explain those specifically by adding the hotspot icon. For example, if the student touch this bleeping icon, explanation about collapsed length will be pop out, and if the student or the user click this colorful icon, the explanation about the mediastinal shift will be resulted. So interactively, we can teach or we can introduce our users about the image. So this is a good way for explaining the materials interactively. Another one is multiple choice. Very interesting for preparation materials for students because every teacher needs to ask the students a question because it's the best way to measure whether they get it or not. So multiple choice give us, this framework give us a good chance for tracking our students as well. This is the framework for preparing multiple choice type H5P framework. This is the example. There is a title box as usual, and this is a box for putting the question. And those are the options, that means the answers. So you put your answer over here, and after you put the answer, you have to mark over here if the answer is correct. If you need the student or the user to answer it correct, we click this one. If this option is not the right answer, we simply leave it. And there is also a chance to put tips and feedback, especially if you need some explanation about this text, and also if you need something to say the student when they answer it. For example, we prepare a question for a precardial tamponade. It's possible to give more than one correct answer. When the users or the student try it, the response will be pop out. So in my case, I put try again as a feedback when they choose wrongly, and well done when they choose correctly. And you can also write some additional feedbacks as well. And the last one is course presentation. On our case, this is kind of simple comparing to the others, and it's also used to prepare materials when it's a junk or a kind of bulky file. There is a title box as usual, and this is our slide box. We can prepare the content in terms of text. We can also add links, we can also add images, and we can also use additional audio elements. There are different options. So as an example, brain trauma is the title, and those are the texts that can be written inside the box. you can add additional slides as much as you need, and the student gonna see it by clicking the next button. So we can prepare our interactive materials in this way. And this is all about my presentation. My partner, Dr. Tamaskan and Dr. Robel, present you shortly about how we embed videos and audios, and also how to prepare those video and audio elements. And they also say something about the Cloudinary management, but in my case, it's all about our experience shortly, and I thank you for your attention. Thank you. Dr. Robe, can you proceed?
Sure. Okay, thank you very much, Helena, and I will also say hello to everyone out there. My name is Dr. Robel, and we have been working on this paramedics project for the last few months, and we have learned a lot from this experience. So it's an honor to share what we learned and what we acquired with you here in this workshop. So before I begin, I would like to ask Gabby to add me because I'm using a phone to connect the first time, and I'm requesting connection through my PC so that I can screen share. So I would like to ask Gabby to add me. I'm requesting admittance so that I could share my screen through my PC. Okay.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. It's connecting. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Let me rename myself. Very nice.
I believe you can hear me clearly right now.
Yes.
Okay, very nice. So my portion is what I'm going to share you is about Cloudinary management and audio recording. So I will start by sharing a presentation. So okay. So my presentation is about Cloudinary management and audio recording. What we try to utilize combining the contents and managing the contents were Cloudinary. We used it mainly for the managing our image and audio. So we try to collect images that are relevant to the source topic And after collecting those images from Google or free images from a different site like Pix, we try to upload it into Cloudinary so that it's easier for us to access the image later on, as well as have editing on that image before we can embed it into our course. And also for the case of audio, we recorded our audio on HiQ MP3 if we were using our phones, and also Audacity if we are using our PC. So after recording our videos, we upload it to Cloudinary and then embed that into our course. So this is the Cloudinary setup. So we can upload our media here through the media library so that we can easily access the image from here. So I will again share the management. These are some of the images we utilized in our course uses. So after we got our image and first we download it into our PC, then we upload it into Cloudinary. It's just as simple as drag and drop. So after uploading, it will allow us to manage the image, meaning editing the size of the image, editing editing the width and the height of the image, the orientation, if we want to crop that image, and if we want to adjust how the image would appear. And after that, and after manipulating those images, it will give us a link to upload the image. So if we don't need somewhat editing the image, we can directly take this link. It will show us to copy the URL. So we take that link and we go directly to our CLAD Online Studio, and then we directly upload it into our raw, either as a raw HTML or inside the text as well. So let me try to show you as we upload it as a raw HTML. So we use the embedding code image src equals to, and we open a quotation mark, then we upload the image into the quotation. This code shows us what the image, the code, the element we're trying to embed is an image, and where to get the link. So we directly paste the link from the Cloudinary. Then when we say save, our image is uploaded in our content. So we use this Cloudinary to manage our image and also adjust our image in utilizing it into different areas of our courses. So after that, we can also do adjustment of the image to appear alongside our text. We can also adjust our image to adjust the borders of that image to appear more circular or to appear curved. And after that adjustment, when we feel it's right for our course content to be presentable for our students, then we save it and publish it. So Cloudinary has helped us a lot to organize our content and also to view our resources after uploading. So it will allow us to have a source of contents we can use later on if we want to access the image later on. One thing, one of the challenges for Cloudinary, utilizing the Cloudinary, was organizing those images. So we tried to create folders on Cloudinary, like folders like this. We could create those folders with a simple click of the button, and we upload images based on the content or based on the title in there, and we can access it later on, any image or any content we need. So on the same topic of Cloudinary, we will see audio recording. So for audio recording, what instruments where we were trying to use, or what materials we were trying to use, is the first one was HiQ MP3. And if we are using our desktop studio to record our voice into our PC, we were using Audacity. These are free softwares that are best at what they do, directly recording MP3 audios, and we will embed them into our course materials like this, so that students could read some of the topics, visualize image, and get further additional audio recording or audio inputs of that image from our instructors. So this has been quite helpful in narrowing down some of the contents that is provided like text, which it increases somewhat interactivity, and it also activates the auditory channel. So auditory learners could learn from listening to the audio as well as looking at the visual representation of the images right here. So for audio recording, the first thing to do was record the audio through, as I said before, HiQ MP3 and Audacity. After that, when it's provided as sorry, I closed Cloudinary. So when it's provided as the necessary MP3 output we needed, we also uploaded that into our Cloudinary software, and it will appear as an audio like this. Then after that, using the same embed principle, we directly copy the URL and we go to the area we want to embed our audio, and we use the code audio controls equals to and audio. So we insert our expected link, or the link we're trying to upload here, and we add save. So this will directly allow us to access our audio here in our course content. Audio controls, sorry, SRC or source. So this will be our audio sample. So we try to utilize this in different ways. The most difficult part was trying to identify where this audio and images fit, and trying to identify the relevant audio materials and the relevant images, so that we could upload it in the specific locations where the students could get adequate learning experience from those audio and image components. One of the challenges doing the audio recording and embedding is finding the right location. So we were using desktop studio in our institutions, but if the location is not quite right, there will be echoes and there will be some kind of noise ambience. So one of the challenge was finding the right time and the right location to limit that ambience and that echo that we find in different halls and different areas. So if when we filter those out, we could find an effective audio component. Another thing is we didn't usually edit our videos because we already prepared for them. But after recording the video, we could also edit the audio to limit those overhead voices, so that we could have a clear audio output. And I think those all by me. So if you have any questions, I think I will leave it for discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, both of you, Helena and Robel. Thank you very much. That was, I think, a lot for these guys to take in. So I think maybe, I don't know if there's any questions from you guys. Probably a lot. I might.
Maybe before that, but Dr. Tamaskan want to say something for very short. I think Dr. Robel.
Yeah, we're running out of
very
time.
long. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But that was the fault of Robel. He talked too long. Just for 3 minutes.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Apology rejected. Tamu, Dr. Tamaskan, please make it short, just for 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. I have been seeing a problem connecting back, and I found the way Professor Helge shown us on the start of our training how to record video, the simplest but a better one, a better version of video recording. So I'm going to share you my screen and show you how we do it only. And the thing we are using was, we were using the Zoom platform itself. We just use it to, for example, if this is our screen, okay, I think I have to get into another account to do that, but let me show you the studio. We're using to record our video. So it's pod mic, which we use as our camera above, and there our studio looks like this. We have light here, and then the green screen will be keying out our background, and after sharing the PowerPoint on the screen, so the PowerPoint will be keying, the green screen will be keyed out on the background, and there will be presentations like the texts or the presentation which we put will be presenting here. So we will be pointing our fingers like this, and we have a microphone here which clearly takes in our sound. So we record the Zoom session as a video recording device, and it almost takes more of a professional video. So after we leave the session, the Zoom platform itself will be recording the session as a presentation, and there will be all video, audio, and the presentation in the background. So we use that as a video and upload everything as this was how we have been simply, but on a best way, which I found have been recording the video as Professor Helge has recommended us, and it was a very nice way to record the video. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, you guys, that was a lot, I guess, to take in. Do you have any immediate questions for?
How long have they spent on this?
There's a question here. How long have you spent, Helena, on your course so far? How long time?
For the actual course preparation, it's almost took around 4 months. Will be published at the end of September. So it will be different from the course in course. As preparing post-hospital trauma courses, it will take around 4 months. Yeah, addition to the other regular jobs. But if we give time rather than this, and for the person who get more experience, I think 2.5 months will be enough. Yeah, I guess that. Okay.
I just want to say congrats on a great job.
Yeah, they're
That's
saying
really good.
congrats.
Thank you.
That's very, very, very cool to see. And I've also briefly mentioned Cloudinary for them, so it was also good to get a sneak peek into that. So yeah, I think, are there any more questions?
Just looking forward to we're on the same level as you.
Yeah. Did you hear that? They're looking forward to being on your level now.
Of course, they will.
Gabi,
Yeah.
I would just like to mention that I made a copy of the material on the kladdebok.no where
Nice.
so you can see, and it's very extensive what they have made.
I will add the,
Extremely satisfactory.
very nice. I will add these guys to the course so they can
Yeah.
see it. Yeah,
Great, great.
cool. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll stop the recording and leave the meeting.